This is the Professional Edge. My name's Sean Todd, tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner. This session, we're talking about our retirement flight, Bravo 123. And basically, the previous session, we were talking about our piloting to a successful and secure retirement. So as a pilot, think about this as it relates to your retirement planning. And that is that pre-flight checklist. And we were talking about our 401k allocation. With the downturn in the market in 2022, you might have jumped out of the pilot seat and moved all to cash. Well, yeah, cash started paying some money, and that is that interest rate. And now you've actually missed a huge run up in the market because we just reached a 52-week high last week. So again, just like jumping rope, when do you get back in? And let's not trip up. And what's the signal to get back in? Well, that's where you, as a pilot of your safe and secure retirement, have this pre-flight checklist. What is your 401k allocation? If you haven't revisited that and made that allocation or determination on your risk tolerance, and also how that relates to your other investments, which are not in your 401k or 403b or the other alphabets of qualified retirement plans. The next on that pre-flight checklist, meaning your retirement before we get done and bail out and reach the destination of being retired, is how much debt do you have and how are we going to structure that payoff? And then also the next thing in line on that pre-flight checklist for your safe and secure retirement is your budget in your years of retirement. How much is it actually going to cost you and how are we going to fund that? Well, on that funding, we also need to do a retirement analysis on what sources, where are you going to get that income? Well, we have Social Security. Does it make sense to elect it when you are eligible at age 62? Or should we postpone that and reach age 70 like some people do? And again, there's no sort of plan that people come in with. They just, hear somebody say, well, you need to wait till age 70. Well, your personal retirement pre-flight checklist may determine that it makes financial sense for you to elect that at age 62. It just depends on your individual circumstances. So when we do that at estate management counselors, we take that into account, and you would be surprised, and several times we're surprised on making that election early versus postponing. And sometimes it does make financial sense to postpone it, and sometimes it makes financial sense to start it at 62, 65, 66, 70. There's no real rule except for running the analysis to see which one actually benefits the client the most. So if you've not done that Social Security election analysis, do give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. It's well worth the call and well worth the analysis. I mean, it could add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars in difference. And individuals just sort of put more time and attention in planning their vacation than what they do their retirement. So don't be that person because you're here listening to the Professional Edge. So that's my challenge as we get to this retirement flight and you being the pilot of this retirement flight. So again, our destination being the pilot on your retirement flight is, where is your destination? Well, the destination is your safe and secure retirement. And when we look at that, we pick a date and you say, I want to retire at age 62, 65, or I'm going to work till age 67. Whatever your age is, it's everyone's own objective and their own decision. So we say at retirement, and let's pick that magic number of 65. Then we figure out what your budget's going to be. And then we work backwards and say, okay, you have your 401k. It has X balance. You have a pension potentially. And then we have Social Security. Your spouse worked. They have Social Security. So we take those income sources into account, and your destination is how much you need in retirement at a specific age. So when we also take that into account, being a tax attorney and a CPA, we have to take into account the taxes. Because a lot of individuals, let's say you have $1 million 401k. Everyone is understanding or looking at that and saying, wow, I have $1 million IRA and I have $300,000 in after-tax investments as well in a regular brokerage account. So I'm at $1.4 million. No, you're not. With that $1 million 401k, we got to remember that that is pre-tax, and everybody has this sort of skewed view of, I have $1.4 million for retirement. Nope, you don't. Because you can't spend that $1 million in your 401k. The net value of that, your net spendable, is about $700,000. And the other $400,000 you have in the brokerage account, you're at 1.1. Doesn't sound as good, does it? Well, but that's the reality. And us, as estate management counselors, as we relate to your retirement flight, we're the control tower. We're here to make things smooth and be your coach or your contact to keep you on track. That's what the control tower does. And when a pilot takes off for their flight, they are in constant contact with the control tower. And you, as a listener here on the Professional Edge, should be in constant contact with the control tower. That is your registered investment advisor that works on a fee basis, and that is what we do at Estate Management Counselors. We are the control tower to stay in constant contact with you, the pilot of your retirement, and guide you from point A to point B and make sure you get to that destination. And if there's a change in circumstances, let's think about this. That storm comes up, you see it on the flight radar, and does the pilot land the plane immediately? Bail out? No. The answer is there are adjustments. The control tower issues a new vector. They put in the vector. They either A, head up north, meaning gain altitude, or B, they may divert and go around the storm. Well, that is where we meet different economic conditions. That's the storm in parlance of the retirement flight. And we adjust things. We may say, hey, let's slow down a little bit. That means pull back the risk and let that storm pass on through, and then we'll go and continue to the destination of that safe and secure retirement. So again, you being the pilot of your retirement flight, and we are the control tower to make sure you stay on course. That's how it relates. Now, to engage us and basically start your retirement flight, give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. So back to the retirement pre-flight. Yes, there are a lot of things on this checklist. And as you board the airplane, you see the pilot and co-pilot up there, and they're checking everything. They're running through, make sure they got enough gas on board. They make sure they are double checking that they are going to head to the right destination, all the other vacuums and things like that. I'm not a pilot, but we all see them doing all these things, checking things twice to make sure that we get from point A to point B in a safe and secure manner. So you being the pilot of your retirement flight, the other thing we need to talk about is your estate plan. What are in place? Because A, you probably have your estate plan, you have it done, and you have it tested in 10 to 15 years. You drafted this when your kids were born, and guess what? They just graduated college, and you haven't addressed that. Well, your decision makers obviously have changed, your assets have changed, and you have a more complicated estate. So at Estate Management Counselors, we put that in order as well as part of your pre-flight retirement flight checklist. Get things done, get things in order as a just in case. And then the final thing we got to look at is liquidity on this pre-flight checklist. So what if we run into a bump and something happens and we want to fund or get some things done on the residence, or you want to buy a condo to retire to? Does it make financial sense to buy it now, or should we wait? Because A, the retirement plan, that pre-flight is, would it be better to qualify for a mortgage now since you have a W-2 income, safe and secure job? We can apply to the mortgage company, get that. And then we think about how we're going to transition from one house to two houses, or we're going to sell the one you're in now and move to the condo on the beach. That's all part of this retirement plan checklist that we go through. What are your retirement destination? Where is your destination? What does it look like? Well, let's get there. Let's put that in place. Let's work backwards to make sure that we can fully fund that and have that safe and secure retirement. So we're done with that pre-flight checklist on your retirement flight. So now we're going to allow the control tower to get us on our way and move and push back from the gate. And we are going to start taxiing. Again, the pilot is always in constant contact with the control tower. Even as they taxi, they got to direct them on what path to get to what runway to get ready to start and take off. So that's where we run that analysis, and we get you on your way and stay in constant contact to make sure this is going to be on the right flight. So we are up, we take off, we are in flight. Well, that's being monitoring that things are going on. The pilots just don't go up there and go to sleep. Well, at least they shouldn't. They may nod off, and that is a true case, especially on international flights, unbeknownst to us as passengers on that flight. But you being the pilot, you are going to stay awake because we are doing your retirement flight. So they're up there monitoring to make sure the oil pressure, the fuel is doing okay, the engines are fine, and they monitor and adjust as things go on. There might be some turbulence, and we say, okay, seatbelt light goes on, and we're going to climb to some different altitude, or we're going to change a vector. As the pilot of your retirement flight, that is where the market conditions, meaning if the Fed is in this rising rate environment, which we've had since 2022, well, we need to make some adjustments in the portfolio and adjust your interest rate sensitivity allocation. What do you hold in your portfolio that is sensitive to interest rates going up? Well, there are certain investments, and therefore we should A, understand the consequence of that, and then reallocate those. And as we're going on, we've heard from the other pundits that we're going to have a recession. It's going to be 18 months. Well, we've been hearing that for 18 months, and just this past week, we hit a 52-week high in the S&P 500 index. Think about that. If you went to cash and you were just trying to do it yourself, you're not in contact with the control tower, meaning a financial advisor that works on a fee basis like us at the estate management counselors, you just sort of panic, just like you're in flight. Okay, we have some turbulence, going to land the plane over the water. The answer is no, but you do. So now you're just making a crash landing, no real plan, no real adjustment. You're just reacting emotionally. Well, just because you hit some turbulence in your retirement plan doesn't mean you need to react violently, as we call it, and try and time the market and get out and risk avoidance. So we got to develop that plan and see. Remember, you're an investor and there is risk on investing in the stock market. But if we allocate it and readjust it, there are ways to address these market volatility points and have that flight adjusted. You're on the way to your safe and secure retirement. So more coming up here on the Professional Edge as we talk about your retirement flight. You're the pilot of this, and be in constant contact with the control tower. That's your registered investment advisor that's guiding you on a fee basis. There is a best interest obligation to work as a fiduciary, being a registered investment advisor. So again, to take advantage of that, to make sure you're in contact with the control tower for your retirement flight, give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. I appreciate you listening to The Professional Edge. My name's Sean Todd, tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner. Host here on The Professional Edge.
We've all thought about it. Everyone listening will need one. Not having one can cause untold heartache, family conflict escalating to the point of a lawsuit. One simple thing that avoids all that: an effective estate plan. As a practicing tax attorney, Sean Todd with Estate Management Counselors has completed over 1,000 estate plans during his 15 years of professional practice. He can help you implement an effective estate plan, coordinate your financial accounts, and make sure you have named the proper beneficiaries to maximize your tax savings. Call 877-654-9798 today and let tax attorney Sean Todd help you implement an effective estate plan. Call 877-654-9798 today. As a tax attorney CPA for over 15 years, Sean Todd has implemented over 1,000 individual estate plans. He has recently authored an especially helpful guide, How to Unlock the Ultimate Estate Plan. This guide has helped many individuals to understand the benefits of an estate plan and how to avoid unintended disasters. Sean has made every attempt to write this in plain English. To receive this valuable guide, How to Unlock the Ultimate Estate Plan, call 1-877-654-9798 and request your complimentary copy today, or by emailing your request to info@emcadvisors.net.